Welcome back to Digi Bros, everybody.
Welcome back to Digi Bros.
We are
What in the butt?
answering questions while playing the Wind Waker. How many pieces of the Triforce do you have so far?
I don't know how to check. Options? No.
Why would options?
Save?
Why the fuck would options?
Save.
It's
don't know.
It's just saving the game. What about
Bag? No.
bottles?
Wait.
With that arrow.
Hey.
There you go.
I have
1,
4.
2, 3, 4. Yeah.
It almost looked like 3, and I was afraid. So I have 4 of 8.
There's 8. Fuck. I thought there was 7.
Yay!
When are we gonna do the ghost ship?
I need to find the ghost ship map. We need a guide.
Devu asked, "Why don't we read books?" The
'Cause
answer,
books are gay.
but he literally said "we," so like implicating himself. You already know Jesse Wood's "fuck books" video. That was that video was like a fucking beautiful thesis on why I don't read books anyway. Have you seen that video?
I just get headaches, but yes, I remember fuck books.
It was fucking perfect.
As always.
Devu was asking me about this thing I told him where I said that I basically told him that I wanted him to dump his entire worldview.
There's just switches everywhere here.
Because like Devu would give these like he makes a lot of like political statements, but he doesn't really like talking about politics. He just likes making political statements or something to that effect. Don't let me put too many words in his mouth. You have to hit all 3 switches in a time limit.
I'm sure. Let me actually do this one first.
And well, now you fucked up because you probably couldn't re-hit that. And you also didn't hit the one that was the hammer on the right side.
What?
You missed the one that the
I didn't know there was a 4th one.
Yeah, right over there. Boom.
Okay, I'll start here and make my way.
I don't know if I think you have to do all 3 of those and then you'll come over here and hit this one.
Are you sure?
No, but I mean that's what I
do
assume.
this one first.
But what I told him was like it was too difficult for me to like understand where he was coming from because I don't understand his whole worldview, and that I wanted him to like explain his entire worldview. And he was like, I've never really heard anyone say that before, because most people sort of argue on a topic, like say gun control, right? 2 people will start talking about it and they'll argue their sides. But like to me, I can't really argue with someone if I don't know like why they feel the way they do, you know, like I feel like we're fighting 2 different battles otherwise, you know. I need to understand what you want the world to be before I can argue with you. Cuz like let's say that I believe that the best way for society to progress is to head towards the Sybil system, and you believe that the best way for society to progress is radical individualism. And then we start having an argument about like whether or not gun control is a good idea. But if we don't know what each other's end goal is, then there's no way for us to like understand why we have different opinions, you know? So I think we really need to have like, if you want to argue, your standpoint on like the broad issue needs to be known, you know? Like when I argue about stuff, you really got to know what my end game is. And in my case, my end game is completely oblique because I'm Abradolf Linkler and I don't know what the fuck I want from the world. So
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oblique.
I think I meant opaque. Yeah,
obliques are a muscle.
But opaque is not the same. Yeah, oblique is a muscle. I meant opaque, but opaque is not the right word.
Conrad,
it's
stop using words.
What's the other? No, what's the word that's the opposite of opaque? It's transparent.
Opaque is transparent.
No, opaque is the opposite.
I thought.
Or it's unclear.
I
had to look it up.
Opaque is like a sort of like
it's
a
definitely not oblique.
Yeah, it's not oblique.
I meant opaque, but
I don't know what you mean anymore.
Anyway, neither do I. Let's just move on to the next question.
Use your words.
Yeah.
Don't
please
don't use your
please
words.
use your words. How much do you see your extended family?
Maybe grab a different weapon.
A lot?
I don't know.
Not
Enough.
as much anymore. It used to be like, because my dad's side of the family is from California, and we used to, like, when we were young, we didn't see a lot of my dad's side, but we saw a lot of my mom's side, which is mostly from here.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of our aunts and uncles would always be around, and then over the years that has ceased to be as true. We don't really see a lot of the extended family all the time. And we definitely don't see, like, anything outside of, like, my parents' siblings and their children. Like, I don't think I know anyone outside of that realm.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I know my grandparents,
Like,
I know
extended
my
family,
aunts and
huh?
uncles, and I know my cousins. I don't know a single person outside of that. You couldn't ask me to name any of them or how many there are. Like, I know...
I always forget that
I know
that part counts.
The only one I've really met is Mima's twin sister.
Yeah.
And, like, I've
Then
only met her, like,
you forget
once.
that she has an entire, family.
Right, she has her whole family. I've never met any of them. Except for, like, when I was, like, a child and I don't remember. Like,
Yeah.
I know we met Bubba and he's, like, related to that. But, yeah. Haven't met most of them.
Bloodline at this point.
Yeah, I mostly just know my aunts and uncles and my cousins. So if by extended family you mean beyond that, then never. There's never been a big family reunion. Like, I probably met a bunch of them when we went to Mima's dad's, like, 95th birthday, like, 12 years ago or whatever.
Jesus.
Where, like, there was just a ton of old people, and that was
Yeah.
where I think both of us developed, like, a fear of old people, because they're, like, their
Probably.
veins were all bulging out and shit, and it was creepy. Like, they were super
Not
old.
a fan.
That
Old
dude's dead
people.
now, but, yeah, and he was
Is
a
he?
piece of shit. Yeah, Mima's dad. Don't you remember that,
Somehow I thought he was still around.
Mom's dad said, why didn't you tell me that fucker died so I could have pissed on his grave?
Oh, yeah. Very clean.
Yeah. Another from Devu. Is having a shitty time in a game your fault?
No.
I think the answer is
Maybe.
is yes, but only because you're not retarded. Do you know what I
True.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay, there's
If you have a critical mind, you're fucked.
yeah.
Or it's
Well,
like
okay.
people, like I've seen like a 27-minute review of Xenoblade Chronicles X before, like the guy hadn't beaten the game yet, but he played it over 100 hours, and I'm just like, nowhere in that did he bring up all of my complaints.
Right.
Like, he kind of glossed over some things that were iffy, but it was like he clearly hadn't taken them as heavily as I did
Right.
as criticisms of the game.
I'll say this, and rescinding the fact that I used the word retarded earlier, because I'm going to be more literal and not as just throwing words out, but there's a lot of autistic people who are really into shitty games.
Uh-huh.
Like, who will find a universe of interesting content in them. Do you remember when Ben was telling us about that guy, Ulililia, who is who, like, writes these insane lists about
Yeah.
everything in his life?
Another list, bro.
Very worth looking into this guy, because Ben, like, collects, like, cringe internet people, and, like, he knows, like, every fact ever about.
He is a master of Spurglords.
I told him he needs to become a bard for, like, like the Vadi Vidya of, like, internet cringe people. But he was telling us about this Ulalila guy, and, like, the dude has listed among his favorite game ever is, I believe it was Sonic and Knuckles. It was definitely one of the Sonic games, and he was like, but it was to the point that it's the only game he plays because he can constantly find new things to enjoy about it because he's insane.
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, he said that the way he listens to music
That
is that he
conclusion.
pretty much just listens to the Sonic soundtrack, but he'll constantly
Yes.
what he'll do
yes.
is he'll
I remember.
change the speeds and pitch of the songs ever so slightly
Just
to make
completely
them
insane,
different
man.
songs.
Totally insane.
But I mean, I get it, because I mean that's what vaporwave is you take an old song
Yeah,
and you
but-
chop and screw it a little and make it something different. But
It's
like
the fact that all this guy listens to is the Sonic soundtrack.
to be able to listen to the same song 100 different ways and like to perceive the small differences and see it as a different song, like
Incredible.
yeah. And
That
he
is a
was
fucking
saying like
feat.
how his favorite thing in the game, his favorite aspect of the game is to watch Tails die in an endless loop. Because you can trap him in the water at one point and just watch him die over and over again.
So wrong.
So yeah,
You
if you
twisted
have the right
motherfucker.
mindset, every game is amazing. But
If you enjoy the little things.
but it's sort of a like, you know, that's why I always say that everything is subjective. You know, like every
Yes.
game is amazing if you think it's amazing. You know, people will say, "Oh, but objectively," but all objectively means is consensus. That's what people I wish everyone would stop using the word objectively and everyone would start using the word consensus. As in, the consensus is that games should be like this because that's what the most people feel, you know? Most people want games to have to do certain things, and they will be mad when certain things happen. So you
Yes,
could say
like
it's
when
the
they
game's
don't have an ending.
you could say it's the game's fault, but what the game's fault is that it didn't play to what most people want, you know? But you could argue that if you're in the right mindset, every game is amazing, you know?
Yes.
And everything is amazing.
Everything is awesome.
I was gonna say it.
Have no critical thoughts about anything.
Yes, the classic fucking Demolition D quote about Aldenoa Zero, which made that fucking video where he goes, "Wait a minute, if I just ignore the bad parts and only look at the good parts, then it's a 10 out of 10. Why isn't everyone doing this? Every single thing ever is amazing." Highly recommend that video.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the greatest videos ever made.
All right, I'm gonna talk about shit while I search the internet for a map of where these things are.
Okay, let me look at
Because
our time.
I'm getting bored.
I can barely read from here. When did we start this episode?
Dude, I have no idea. It's
Let's
4
see.
a.m.
We started one.
We started around like 1:30 or something.
Shit.
Fuck.
So there's one that went to 110, and then one that went to like 137, I think. But then that would mean this one's already at the end. When the fuck did we start this episode? Did we start this 5 minutes ago, or did we start this 30 minutes ago?
Dude, I have no idea.
All right, next time on Digi Bros, and if this doesn't turn out to be a next time on Digi Bros, then it means I just continued from where we were. Welcome back to Digi Bros. It's probably the same episode.
Yay!
Because I looked at the list of questions and it didn't
I'm a
seem like
special
we answered
boy.
enough. That yeah, your phone is like right where the light is hitting my eyes. Anyway,
On my crotch.
all right, we'll just continue with the VU questions then.
Sailing takes me to where I'm
can't read what I wrote here.
going.
All right, a work being satisfying in the moment versus afterthought.
Ooh.
Yeah, how do you feel about this?
Spicy.
Like when you watch, like I think he wrote this about my spoilers rant.
Uh-huh.
How I was saying that, like, to me, you know, spoilers only matter because you feel strongly about something the moment it happens.
Alright, I did
but
this
then
island.
once you've thought about it, then it doesn't make much of a difference between like
Yeah.
how you felt at the time and how you feel now. Which some people have argued that the surprise that you felt is something that you'll remember and that you might, you know, feel is valuable. And I guess that's like fair. I can always remember the emotions I felt, but I don't necessarily think that they're any different when I'm spoiled, you know, like
Yes.
when I hear about something in the long run, it feels the same. And I value that a lot more. What about you?
What?
Do you value the first impression or
know I
just the
do.
long term?
You know I don't want to be spoiled for a Bloodborne playthrough because I need it.
Right. But do you think that do you think that
why am I trapped
oh
in
my god,
arrow
what the
mode?
fuck is happening? This is making me
I can't-
fucking nauseous.
I can't stop Bo.
touch.
Nothing is.
What the fuck is happening? Did he tell you something? Are you trying to shoot him?
I don't know.
Why didn't you pay attention to what he was saying?
Because you were talking about something. I got him.
Maybe you have to shoot him a bunch of times.
I don't know.
Stop doing that. That's fucking obnoxious. I want to fucking punch you every time you do that. Jesus Christ.
You know the reference, right?
Is it from
It's that obnoxious con guy.
who?
It's like this character who's like
Yeah, I've heard about
he's
that.
on the news and oh god. They were talking about him on Game Grumps.
Yeah.
About like the guy who does it.
That thing is
It's so
definitely full
annoying.
of the arrows you're shooting at it. That's
Dude,
promising.
what the fuck is happening?
It's got all the arrows in it.
Oh,
I guess you won.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very clean.
Very clean indeed.
What the fuck was that?
Oh, he was trying to.
Okay.
You're supposed to shoot him a certain number of times, I guess.
Did he not give me the
He
spot
gave
on
you
the map?
60 rupees.
Okay, so he's being an asshole. I think I did him 10 times. He said something about 10 arrows.
Yeah, probably.
Fuck it, I don't care. What an asshole.
Alright. Oh, jeez. I don't know if Devu was asking something else by that question. I wrote these down like weeks ago at this point, and I'm just
About
now
a week
getting
ago.
around to them.
Week ago.
And I wrote them down poorly. As Devu pointed out, that like when he asked us to detail our family and friends, he didn't mean that we literally go through. He meant that he wanted us to like put the facts to the names, basically, because we talk about them so much and we like say so many random stories. The problem with that is we won't remember the stories, so you really have to like tell us what fact you don't remember who it was about, and then we could,
Okay.
apply it. He also asked about our beef with isometric games, and we already answered that. I think it's interesting that so many people like I don't remember when we ever mentioned not liking isometric games.
Yeah, I don't know why that's something people remember.
I guess people were probably taken aback by it because they were like, I look asymmetric. I just hate the
Taken
perspective. I think it looks
forward.
like shit. Save the lollies. I'm not going to talk about it on the show yet. I'd rather do it when it's more underway. Devu's the only one who even knows what that is. Script reading / voiceover. I'm not sure what that's a question about because I wrote it down too long ago. If you had to do a non-editorial job, we already answered that from somebody else's question. So we finished off all the Devu questions that were on this paper.
Yay! We got through the first set of Devu questions.
Yeah. And
Yay.
I think we now have... Oh, shit. I just spilled a drink. Next time on
No!
Digi Bros, I clean up this drink spill. Peter, go grab me a towel, please.
Motherfucker.